Hi, this is Anita from Reluctant Low Carb Life. Today we're going to talk a little bit or delve deeper into what we call our trifecta of health. And the trifecta of health, really, this is about a lifestyle. And it's really three simple things. We try to make it as simple as possible. The first one is eat fresh foods. In the world we live in today, there are so many processed foods. It didn't used to be that way. Foods used to be basically very much fresh foods. But as the world has evolved, as companies have evolved, as they have found chemicals and other things that they can put into the food, as they can make the food be able to last longer, we are eating more and more processed foods. And studies have shown that those processed foods do not help our health. In fact, there are some scientists who say that they have been linked to a lot of the causes of diabetes, cancers, and other things. It's alarming to me to discover that in some Western countries, particularly in the United States or the UK or even Australia, that some children may be getting from their diet 70% of all they eat is ultra-processed foods. Think of that for a minute. 70% of what they eat is not really food at all. It's chemicals. That's why we're a great believer in fresh foods. Fresh foods is basically the best way to have it is you go to the market, you buy the tomatoes, you cook the tomatoes, you know what's in the tomatoes, and that becomes your meal. That's one of the best things that you can do. Fresh foods is the ultimate way to eat. And this is shown again and again for many types of studies that really, for you to have fresh foods is the best way for you to eat. And that processed foods is really not the way to eat. Except the problem with processed foods is they are convenient and they do last longer. We've said many times here in our podcast that when you're shopping in a regular grocery store like you'll find in the United States or somewhere, shop around the edges, the perimeter of it. And that's where you will find the fresh foods and the fresh ingredients. And that's where, you will find, things like the fruits, the vegetables, the meats, the cheeses, the yogurts, all of that type of thing you will find around the perimeter. When you go into the aisles, that's where you find a lot of the processed foods or the ultra-processed foods. If you look on the back of a can and there's more than 3 ingredients or there's a bunch of ingredients you wouldn't have in your own kitchen, chances are that is an ultra-processed food. So we are great advocates here at Reluctant Low Carb Life, all about eating fresh foods. We are great believers in fresh foods, that fresh foods is the way that everyone should be eating. One of the reasons why is because of what's known as satiety. Satiety is that basically when you eat something that you will remain full or feel full for a longer period of time. If you've ever been to like McDonald's or someplace that's, you've eaten a lot of ultra-processed foods and you eat it and then you're full and then within an hour or two later, you're like, I'm so hungry. That's because the food you've eaten doesn't have satiety. If you have satiety, then first of all, you don't eat as much. And second of all is, you know that you're eating better foods. So that's why we're great believers here, and not just fresh foods, but foods that help you feel full longer. If you eat the foods that help you feel full longer, then it will help to ensure that basically you're eating healthier foods, number one, and two, that you won't eat as much. There'll be foods that are rich in fibers, like, vegetables, fruits, beans, whole grains that are loaded with dietary fibers, which, give kind of a slow digestion and help us feel full longer. Foods like broccoli, apples, lentils, and oats are particularly effective at curb hunger. Protein-packed choices such as chicken, fish, tofu, eggs, Greek yogurt have a very high satiety. Protein takes longer to digest than carbohydrates. Healthy foods that have healthy fats such as nuts, seeds, olive oil, all of those also help you feel full much longer. The last one, or the last pillar that we talk about for a healthy life or healthy living is fitness. And, if any of you are listening to this podcast, it means you're already thinking about, your life and how maybe you're going to change your life, or what you can do to improve your life, or how you can just make better choices in life. Fitness is really one of the pillars, because with the fresh foods, with the foods that help you feel full, if you then have fitness in there, then that really is the core of a healthy life. It will help boost your metabolism. Number one, fitness will. It will enhance your mood. You'll just feel better after exercising. It will improve your cardiovascular health. It will support muscles and bone health, and it helps to aid in weight management. And I don't know about you, but the days that I don't exercise, I just sort of feel groggy all day. I'm not as sharp as I normally am. Sometimes I'm just outright lazy. I admit it, right? I can just be outright lazy those days I don't exercise. And so I find that, by exercising, it just puts me in a sharper mood. I'm able to get more accomplished throughout the day. I'm able to make better decisions. I'm able to think clearer. Just all of those things happen when you exercise. Years ago, when I was in my master's program at my university, I was under such stress that I couldn't eat. I was up till 12 o'clock at night, getting up at 6 in the morning. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I wasn't getting enough rest. I finally was constantly had this upset stomach, and I went to the doctor. The doctor said, "You have chronic stress." Later in my life, about a couple years later, fast forward, I had my first job. I was also under a lot of stress. I had the same thing happen. And in both cases, the doctors were like, they wanted to give me Valium. And I said, first time I think I took it. The second time I'm like, I don't want to be on Valium the rest of my life. What else can I do? So I really started running and trying to getting my energy out and trying to live a more balanced life. And that really made a difference for me. That really helped put my anxiety. It helped put my stress at bay. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not telling you if your doctor put you on drugs that you get off the drugs and just exercise. I'm not saying that here at all. I'm just saying that for me, that personally worked for me. That exercise helped me get over a lot of, the anxiety and other things. I just know that when I exercise, I just feel happier and better throughout the day. It's kind of those happy, what they call dopamines, that you just feel better because you've gotten out and you've exercised. I find for me that helps. And you need to experiment with yourself to find out if that's something which works for you. But it really shows that if you can also exercise, do things like cut out the diet sodas, eat fresh foods, eat foods that help you feel full longer, then you will feel better. And yes, it does take more time. I understand cooking fresh takes more time. There's some really great channels on YouTube where people show how they prepare their lunches, for the whole week. So there are ways that you can do it, tricks that you can do. But if you really, really just, decide that you're going to cook fresh and you're going to do it quickly, then you do it learn to do it faster. You'll find that it probably takes you as much time to prepare your meal as it does for you to go get in the car, go down the street, go through the drive-thru at McDonald's, and come back and eat. It probably takes you as much time to prepare the meal as it did for you to go through the drive-thru and get your meal. We've written a blog post entitled Combining Fresh Foods, Satiety and Fitness for Total Health, and we will put a link in the description in case you're interested to be able to read more. We hope that you'll also check out our website, Reluctant Low Carb Life, and that you get some ideas of 3 things you can do for this trifecta of health, which basically is about eating fresh foods, eating foods that help you feel full longer, and about fitness. And, I do this blog because I really am a great believer in this. I am a convert in these 3 things. I believe in these 3 things. And I know that they can make a difference. I know how damaging ultra-processed foods are. That doesn't mean that you never have ultra-processed foods the rest of your life. You never go out to eat again, or you never go through a McDonald's again. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you could switch and eat where 80% of your foods could be fresh and maybe 20% multi-processed, you will be far better off than if it was 80% multi-processed and 20% fresh. That's what we're going for here. We really do appreciate you, our listeners, and we hope that you will check out in our description some of the blog posts. And if you have any questions or comments, to let us know. Thank you so much for being part of our community.